It's been 185 days since university lecturers last taught students in Nigeria's public tertiary schools, a development that has left students, parents, and other stakeholders frustrated. The lecturers under the umbrella body, ASU, accused the government of reneging on agreements made in the past and failing to fund the education sector adequately.
Other members of the minister's delegation.
This briefing by the Minister of Education comes barely days after the last meeting by both sides. According to the minister, while 5 of the 6 unions in the universities will in the next week call off their strike, there are no assurances here that ASU will be doing so.
I have 6 unions I'm dealing with. ASUP, that is the Association Polytechnic. Then I have COASU, Colleges of Education Academic Staff. Then I have NASU, I have SANU, I have NAT, then I have ASU. I had given all the unions, all the 6 of them, the offer made by government. And I want to tell you, in principle, all of them accepted it. The only exception was ASU that gave me 2 other conditions. These 5 unions will call off the strike. But I cannot say the same for ASU, because, and let me just tell you what they are asking is, they can accept this if the federal government will agree to pay the salary for the month they have not worked. And I told them the federal government will not. The federal government is not acting arbitrarily. Before, it was some magnanimity on its part. There is a law which says if there is no work, there will be no pay for it. I believe this will be a very strong element that will deter many from going on strike.
On the thorny issue of payment platform, the lecturers seem to have scored a point in bargaining for a new payment system.
Government has not approved UTAS. What I know the last on this issue is a committee has worked and tested all the 3 platforms, IPPIS, UTAS, U3PS. And the preliminary result shows that these 2 new ones are better than IPs in so many respects. But the decision of government will depend on what ultimately is given in the report that is being readied now.
The minister was asked what happens to the students who have lost an academic calendar during the strike.
I think we are all hit by this, perhaps because they have to spend an extra year or extra 2 years. You could say they are worse hit, but it's a national problem. And I think if you had a chance or the capacity to measure the effect of that on the economy, you'll find that economy is also a victim. Parents are also victims. Some parents depend on their children passing out of school to take care of them. So I think it's a loss for the nation. Don't say it is the students alone. For the years they lost, okay, who do you assume will consider? The federal government? No, probably you should take the leaders of striking unions to court to pay them, yes.
He says the strike by the university-based unions come in spite of the huge investment of over 2.5 trillion naira in tertiary institutions in the last 10 years from TED Fund alone, while the universities keep their internally generated funds. Away from ASU, the minister reels out achievements in the education sector to include a reduction in the number of out-of-school children, which he puts at 6.9 million, and the expansion of the number of schools across all levels in the country. For now, the waiting continues, and it is uncertain when universities will reopen.